Welcome to Talladega Super Speedway for the elimination race in the round of 12. A perfect storm for chaos and unpredictability. The pressure is on for our playoff contenders. Who's going to rise up and claim their spot in the round of 8? Matt Kenseth has already claimed his spot with his win at Kansas, so no pressure for him. But pressure for everyone else, even Jeff Gordon with 30 points to the cut line. If everything goes wrong for him, he could be eliminated. And Casey Kane, Tony Stewart, everyone below the line is going to need a lot of things to go right to get up above. And a win would do just that for any one of these guys. Things going right for Aric Almirola in qualifying. He's on the pole. Dale Earnhardt Jr. to his outside. A couple of Roush teammates, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Greg Biffle, row 2. A couple of Penske teammates, Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, row 3. Trevor Bayne and Jeff Gordon share row 4. Sam Hornish Jr. and David Gilliland, row 5. Jimmy Johnson, Casey Kane, Hendrick teammates, row 6. Kurt Busch, Tony Stewart, Stuart Haas teammates in row 7. Kevin Harvick, Matt Kenseth in row 8. Danica Patrick, Cole Witt in row 9. And Joe Gibbs teammates, Kyle Busch and Carl Edwards in row 10. So, good day to have a teammate. Line up next to you, Michael McDowell, Austin Dillon in row 11. Denny Hamlin, Clint Bowyer, row 12. Chase Elliott, David Reagan, row 13. Behind them, Ryan Newman and Paul Menard. Kyle Larson and Jamie McMurray in row 15. Row 16, Ty Dillon, Martin Truex Jr., Bobby Labonte, AJ Allmendinger, row 17. Casey Mears, Justin Allgaier, row 18. And Matt DiBenedetto in row 19. Aric Almirola leads the field to green in his U.S. Air Force number 43, and we'll be watching the cut line all race long in the bottom left. As Almirola gets a push from Stenhouse, he's clear for the lead, and he's going to be working both lanes to try and keep that lead. He's got a lot of Fords lined up on that bottom lane. Maybe he'll prefer to stay down there as he leads lap 1. Yeah, look at that, 5 Fords all lined up on the bottom. Here's a Ford in the middle. That's Joey Logano, one of our first playoff guys in the field. He's got Jeff Gordon to his outside as Greg Biffle's kind of out of shape there down the back stretch. Greg Biffle leading that third line. He's still loose. Watch the 16 in front of Gordon. Gordon goes around. Matt Kenseth's in it. Kyle Busch is in it. And Austin Dillon is in it as well. We had 3 playoff guys get knocked out. Matt Kenseth was in it. He's already locked into the next round, but Jeff Gordon, who was behind Greg Biffle, was out of control, and around Gordon goes behind him. Big hit for Danica Patrick to the inside. Look at Denny Hamlin get through that mess through the middle there, driving through the grass. And Austin Dillon, this is going to eliminate him from the playoffs as he was lodged underneath Cole Witt. Here's the replay, really slowed up. Greg Biffle just kind of steps out of line and hooks the 24 down into Kenseth. Kyle Busch nowhere to go. Danica Patrick into the inside wall. Denny Hamlin almost underneath the 35, then through the grass. Somehow he makes it through. Michael McDowell and Chase Elliott get involved in it as well. 8 cars will be knocked out from this wreck, including Austin Dillon, who will be done in the playoffs. Jeff Gordon still 13 above, but a lot of racing left. Anything can happen to him. So we'll keep an eye on that cut line as we're ready to go back racing. Aric Almirola will lead the field back to green. Now the Fords kind of split up. 3 on the bottom, 2 on the top, and the 2 are working well together. Teammates Trevor Bayne and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. taking the lead down the backstretch. He's clear of Almirola. He's going to go down and block him. Now back up to block his teammate. He's going to block both lanes as we see a third lane forming way back there. That's Clint Bowyer. He's in the playoffs trying to make up as much ground as he can on that third line. Tony Stewart tries to jump up there. Logano does as well. Stewart goes back to the middle. Logano pretty loose, but he's going to hang on and lead that line as Keselowski sees him coming. He jumps up to that third line to get in front of his teammate. Now Brad Keselowski and Joey Logano up on the top side. Keselowski back to the middle to block Johnson. He's going to lead lap 4, and they're almost 3 wide for the lead. Now Keselowski clear of Stenhouse as he takes him down the backstretch. Joey Logano loose. We saw this with Greg Biffle. There he goes around. A lot of cars involved. Dale Jr.'s in it. Kurt Busch, Trevor Bayne, and more collected in the big one on the backstretch. Second caution of the day. More playoff contenders in it. Dale Earnhardt Jr., Joey Logano, and Clint Bowyer's in it as well. And they're going to red flag this one. The car stopped on the front stretch so they can clean up this mess. But take a look at Joey Logano in the 22. Just like what we saw with Greg Biffle, he gets hooked around Bowyer on that left rear. And look at Kevin Harvick avoid this mess, almost to the wall on that inside. Paul Menard in it, Jamie McMurray, Greg Biffle, and Trevor Bayne in it as well. The Roush cars always run so well at our super speedways, but for the most part, they've all racked out. Only a couple of finishes so far this season. But here we go, really slowed up. Bowyer just comes down. Logano was already loose. I don't know if that's a good move by Bowyer, but around Logano goes, collects Dale Earnhardt Jr., Harvick avoiding it, Sam Hornish Jr.'s in it, Kurt Busch a hard hit to that inside wall, and then more contact. Jamie McMurray piles in. He runs into Paul Menard, and then Matt DiBenedetto caught up as well. So 11 cars is the total involved in this wreck, including 3 playoff contenders, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Joey Logano, and Clint Bowyer, who's only 6 points above the cut line right now. So a lot of room for Tony Stewart, Ryan Newman to try and race their way into the round of 8. The safety crews have cleaned up the mess, and we're ready to go back racing. It's Brad Keselowski who leads them back to green with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. on his outside. Jimmy Johnson and Tony Stewart on that inside. Couple Chevrolets trying to get to the front. There's Brad Keselowski pulling that inside line way up ahead. Here comes Johnson and Stewart to the outside. Jimmy Johnson at first place. We finally have a playoff contender taking the lead here at Talladega with just 4 laps to go. Tony Stewart, see, he's minus 3 points right now. Looks like he'll have to win this race in order to advance. Oh, Almirola's around. Denny Hamlin's in it, up and over. Denny Hamlin flipping down the backstretch. Big tumble for the 11 car. Caution's out. And man, what a ride for Denny Hamlin down the backstretch. Watch the 43, Eric Almirola, the outside, big time, out of control, into Hamlin. And look at how the air gets underneath his car. Gets it way up off the ground and then into the wall hard and up and over. Looks like 3 rolls all the way to the end of the backstretch for the Sport Clips number 11 Toyota. Oh, man, what a ride. Really slowing up here. We've seen this several times today. Greg Biffle, Joey Logano, and now Eric Almirola. All Fords as well. But look at Denny Hamlin's car just take flight hard into that inside wall and then up and over. Tumbling down the backstretch. Only 2 cars involved in this one, which will leave 16 cars on the track. And I was just mentioning how Tony Stewart, he's up there in the top 3, but still 3 points out. So he'll have to win in order to advance. One more look at it. Real speed for Denny Hamlin and Eric Almirola. Almirola, a good lick into that inside wall as well. But, man, what a ride for Denny Hamlin. Both cars have been towed to the garage, which means it's time for the restart. And there's going to be only 3 laps to go. And look at Tony Stewart in second place. He needs to win as he gets loose in front of Ricky Stenhouse. And just like that, he's going to the back. Carl Edwards below the double yellow line. That's a penalty as Jimmy Johnson gets moved out of the way. Carl Edwards is going to have to come to pit road to serve his penalty as Casey Kane goes for the lead. He needs to win to make it to the next round with 2 laps to go, and it's Casey Kane out front. And look at Carl Edwards, just 1 point below the cut line after having that penalty. Here comes Tony Stewart back up the middle. He needs to get back to the front. Brad Keselowski and Stenhouse on that outside. Kane tries to block. Now he's out of line. He's going to go to the back. He needed to win, and now he's out of it. Jimmy Johnson leads at the white flag with Brad Keselowski working the outside. Here comes Tony Stewart. He shoves Ricky Stenhouse out of the way. Big run for Stewart. He gets rid of Keselowski. Johnson tries to block. No, here comes Tony Stewart. He has to win to advance. Coming to the checkered flag. Stewart down a block. He gets turned up into the wall. They're wrecking across the line. And I think it was Ryan Newman who ends up winning here at Talladega as Stewart crosses the line on his side. A big block for Stewart. He needed to block Jimmy Johnson, and around he goes. Into the wall hard. Everyone scatters across the line, and it is Ryan Newman who wins at Talladega as the big one happens behind him. A desperation move by Tony Stewart to try and make it to the round of 8 is going to be what eliminates him. There was a big run. Jimmy Johnson and Ryan Newman on the bottom. He came down to block, and up and around he goes with Jimmy Johnson and Kyle Larson. and Ryan Newman through the smoke, clear to the checkered flag, and just chaos behind him. That pretty much sums up Talladega right there. A tough ending for Tony Stewart. A couple of hard hits here at Talladega, and then his hard hit at Kansas as well. Here it is at full speed. Tony Stewart will be eliminated, along with Austin Dillon, Casey Kane, and Carl Edwards, who had that pass below the double yellow line on the backstretch. Here it is. Let's see, it was Newman in front of him, and he just gets loose there. I think Edwards thought he might go around, but Edwards keeps going and clears the 31, and that is what the officials called a penalty. But it's Ryan Newman who's victorious in Talladega. He celebrates in front of the fans. Congratulations, Ryan Newman. He will make it to the next round. Justin Allgaier ends up second. Through all that mayhem, A.J. Allmendinger third, David Gillen fourth, Jimmy Johnson, who was wrecking, he ended up fifth. There's Tony Stewart, eighth, eliminated. Kevin Harvick, 10th. Casey Kane eliminated in 11th. And then Carl Edwards, the last car to finish the race. He will be eliminated as well. And there's all the wrecked cars. Almirola, Denny Hamlin, still top 20s after their big hits. You see Joey Logano and Clint Bowyer just outside the top 20. Bowyer, I believe, was only 1 point that he'll make it through to the round of 8. Jeff Gordon makes it as well after wrecking early. Austin Dillon, he was in that early wreck, and he will not make it to the round of 8. So here's what the points looked like at the end of today's race. There it is. Clint Bowyer, 1 point to the good. Jeff Gordon, only 3 to the good. Carl Edwards, with that penalty, ends up eliminated. Tony Stewart, his woes at Kansas and today, he's eliminated. Casey Kane was last at Kansas. He needed to win today and did not get it done. Well, that's it from Talladega, and that's it from the round of 12. The round of 8 is up next, and we'll be heading to Martinsville and Phoenix. So those are the two in the round of 8. But thank you all for showing up to Talladega, and I will see you in Martinsville.